Great finds today. You just went to Grandma and Grandpa's house because they're moving, and they gave you a lot of stuff because they're downsizing. So you picked the coolest and the most unique items that you could find. But what is worth the most here? Take a look at all these items and be honest. Let me know what you think is the most collectible or expensive. And we'll go through them one by one, and I'll let you know. We'll start out here. This is not a little house. This is not a little trap. This is actually a stove toaster. You put this on the stove. You put your piece of bread here. The heat would come through. You would toast that side of the bread. You'd probably check it 50 times, and when it's done, you would turn it around to get the other side toasted. This side would probably be cold, but it's still, if you want toast, this is what you had to do. They still use these a lot for camping. Now, we've really stepped up our toasting game since this was invented. It's still almost nearly impossible to get that perfect piece of toast. If I were to invent something, I think maybe a clear toaster where you could see so you could get the perfect piece of toast. That may benefit mankind more than a lot of the things that they're inventing, but that's just me. But anyways, that cool little vintage stove toaster. You see this down in the basement and you go, cool, old, Tonka toys, made of metal. This is awesome. Now, upon further inspection, this particular piece is a remake of the 1949 original Tonka Truck dump truck. How can I tell? By the label. The Tonka toy label on top is the same, but it doesn't have where it's made in Minnesota down underneath. That's okay. It's very cool. If it was the original, it'd be worth 10 times as much. Just because you consider Grandma and Grandpa old does not mean everything they have is old. They probably bought this for the grandkids and let them play with it because they didn't believe that toys were made to stay in the box. If they bought it for you, used their hard-earned money, you are going to play with it. If you're going to keep it in the box, I will take it back to the store where it can sit on the shelf and I can have more money in my pocket. Just a different mindset. They believed toys were meant to be played with, and this one was played
A toy shouldn't break just because a child plays with it.
with. This is worth about 1/10 of the original in its condition, but it still looks good, still looks cool. Now you also find an old milk bottle. This is an old milk bottle. It's in a little carrying case, so they used to deliver milk right to your house in glass, which would be very cool. This is Lorraine Creamery. Please return all milk bottles promptly. Thank you. They're very courteous and nice. If you lived in a place where they had milk chutes, they'd just deliver the milk right into a little door in your house, and you'd wake up and have fresh milk. That would be very cool. It's not the way it is today. Milk bottles are collectible. They're not that much, $5 to $10. They're cool. People usually like to collect the ones maybe from where they're from, the nostalgia. Now, this is kind of if you see this tiki kind of theme, there was different themes here. Of course, these are spoons. These are giant spoon and fork. These are not to be used. You can see that you would not use this as an actual spoon or as actual fork. These were decorations that you would hang on the wall in the kitchen. Grandma said, hey, this looks cool. This is the kitchen. This is where you get a knife and fork. This is what I'm putting on the wall. If you've been in a house in the 70s or 80s, you've seen these. They're cool, they're collectible, they are hand carved, and most of these were made in, I think, the Philippines. They're still in great shape because they just hung on a wall, not like the Tonka Truck. They're cool, they're a nostalgic item. But that's a giant, huge spoon and fork. Now, you're not going to find this in the kitchen, you probably find this in the garage or the basement, because Grandpa wasn't allowed to have this anywhere in the house. This is an old cigarette ad.
Well, you go for these.
Cool.
Oh, try one.
And that guy, this is from 1991. That guy looks cool. 1991 cool. That was today cool. In 1991. Mild, smoother, cool filters. Mild menthol. He is actually holding the product. Cool pinky ring. Now, a good way to date these. Now, this has the date on it. It's from 1991. But if you're having trouble, you find some old tobacco advertising, you can date them actually by the Surgeon General's warning. This one, cigarette smoke contains carbon monoxide. They get worse and worse and worse. You know, first one, smoking may not be good for you now. You're basically going to die if you open this pack. This one just said it contained carbon monoxide, which probably no one cared about. So anyway, this is something you hang in your garage, a man cave. Tobacco advertising isn't as collectible as gas and oil. If Grandpa has gas and oil stuff, grab that first. This guy's cool. He looks good. I don't know who he is. I hope he quit smoking. Now we have all these items. Milk bottle, Tonka Truck, old toaster, and of course, the cool wooden spoon. Out of all these items, this is probably worth about $10. If you can get $10, you're doing good, actually. This particular one, worth about $15. $15 if it was in the package, it's worth about $30. These go for about $5 to $10. I would say $10 to $15 on Mr. Cool here. And of course, the most expensive item here are the giant fork and spoon. 25 to 30 bucks on eBay. Anyways, thanks for watching. When you're at Grandma and Grandpa's house, you're not there to make money. You're there to collect memories. Thanks for watching. Share, like, subscribe, do whatever. Thanks.